Class 10th students, today we are going to start new chapter of political science, that is power sharing. First of all, we know the meaning of power sharing because the whole chapter depends on these two words, that is power sharing. Power sharing is a system of political arrangement in which power is shared between different organs of government, between different levels of the government, between different social groups, and between different political parties, pressure groups, and movement. So, power that is shared between the organs of the government, legislature, executive, judiciary, between different levels of the government, that is central level, state level, and district level, and different social groups, political parties, pressure group, and movement. Here are some important terms, that is majoritism, a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. Then civil war, a violent conflict between opposing groups within a country that becomes so intense that it appears like a war. Ethnic, a social division based on shared culture. People belonging to the same ethnic group believe in their common descent because of similarities of physical type or of culture or both. They always need not always have the same religion or nationality. Prudential, based on prudence or on careful calculation of gains and losses. Prudential decisions are usually contrasted with decisions based purely on moral considerations. The chapter starts with the two stories, that is of Sri Lanka and Belgium. First, we consider the story of Belgium. That Belgium is a small country in Europe, smaller in area than the state of Haryana. It has borders with France, Netherlands, Germany, and Luxembourg. It has a population of the little over 1 crore, about half the population of Haryana. The ethnic composition of the small country is very complex. Country's 59% population lives in Flemish region and speaks Dutch language. Another 40% population living in Wallonia region and speak French language. Remaining 1% of the Belgians speak German. In the capital city Brussels, 80% people speak French while 20% are Dutch speaking. The minority French speaking community was relatively rich and powerful. This was resented by the Dutch speaking community, who got the benefit of economic development and education much later. This led to tensions between the Dutch-speaking and French-speaking communities during the 1950s and 1960s. The tension between the two communities were more acute in Brussels. Brussels presented a spatial problem. The Dutch-speaking people constituted a majority in the country but minority in the capital. Now come to the next one, that is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation just a few kilometers off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. It has about 2 crore people, about the same as in Haryana. Like other nations in the South Asia region, Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The major social groups are the Sinhala speaker, that is 74%, and 18% are the Tamil speaker people. Among Tamil, there are two subgroups, that Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils, 13%. The rest, whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, are called Indian Tamils. As you see here, Sri Lankan Tamils are concentrated in the north and east of the country. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. There are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Just imagine what could happen in situations like this. In Belgium, the Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority and force its will on the French and German speaking population. This would push the conflict among communities further. This could lead due to a very massive partition of the country. Both the sides could claim control over Brussels. And in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala community enjoyed an uneven bigger majority and could impose its will on the entire country. Now let us look at what happened in both these countries. Now the next topic is reasons for alienation of Sri Lankan Tamils, majoritism in Sri Lanka. Now what are the reasons of the majoritism in Sri Lanka? Dominance of Sinhalese community due to majority. 1956 Act made Sinhala as the only official language. Preferentially policies favoring Sinhalese in university position and jobs. State to protect and foster Buddhism. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. The leaders of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominance over government by virtue of their majority. As a result, the democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. Now, in 1956 Act recognized Sinhala as the official language and disregarding Tamil. The government followed preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for university positions and government jobs. New constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. Now all these government steps coming one after the other, and gradually the Sri Lankan Tamils have a feeling of alienation. They felt that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders was sensitive to their language and culture. They felt that the constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights, discriminated against them in getting jobs and other opportunities, and ignored